So for lesson number 13, what we are going to discuss is about problem solving involving triangle, similarity, and right triangles. We know naman that this third grading period, most is that we tackle about triangle similarity at the same time yung theorems about right triangles. A hectic day to all of you, my dear students. Bakit nga ba hectic day? So that this is for both uh, of us, for me and for you also. Bakit? It's because since this lesson is the last lesson that we are going to tackle for the third grading period, so ibig sabihin, for us teachers, we need to do already or compute already your grades for the third grading period. While for you students, this week is very hectic. It's because you still need to complete all the requirements that are needed uh, for the subjects that you are taking for for this grading period. So lahat ng mga kailangan nyo kumpletuhin nyo na. So lahat ng mga missing task nyo pa on the Google Classroom, so make sure magawa nyo na for this week. So, kaya it's hectic week for all of us. So, also, since this is already the end of our discussion for the third grading period. But when we say end, it does not necessarily mean na tapos na rin ang lahat ng mga kailangan natin gawin. So, take note, always remember na kapag may nag-i-end, ibig sabihin may bagong nagsisimula. So, pag may ending, there's a new beginning. So, since this is just a third grading period na mag-i-end, so we still have another grading period to look for. So, whatever things na ginawa natin nang hindi tayo hindi maganda yung mga pinagagawa natin o pinagagawa ninyo as a student. So, you have to focus already on your studies. So, you have to do it right now. You have to do it uh, um, you have to focus already to do it right. So, dapat ang thinking is you keep on improving. From first grading, kung ano yung nakuha mong grades doon, dapat mag-improve yan for the second grading. Mag-improve siya for the third grading at dapat mag-improve pa rin on the fourth grading. Kasi ang tendency ang nangyayari is that since alam nila na malapit na mag-end yung school year, ang tendency is that medyo tinatamad na yung iba. So tinatamad mag-aral. Bakit? What's wrong? O ano yung nakakatamad sa pag-aaral, di ba? So eventually, kailangan mo talaga mag-aral because this will help you in your future. So we teachers are here to guide you. I-guide lang namin kayo for the things that you need to achieve in life, that you want to achieve in life. So we are just here to guide you to uh, teach you some lessons na magagamit ninyo in real life. So that when you grow old and you come up with your own family, so you can apply this also to sa mga magiging anak mo at sa mga magiging anak ng magiging anak mo. So, yung mga tinuro sa iyo, particularly yung mga kabutihang itinuro sa iyo ng mga guru mo o mga teachers mo, ay maya-apply mo rin sa sarili mo at sa ibang tao rin. Okay? So, ang ending parang yung sinasabi natin na kapag may end, may bagong simula, para yung love, di ba? Pag ikaw, for example, meron kang karelasyon, then nag-break kayo, sinasabi, it's not the end of the world. Diba? Ibig sabihin, kung naghiwalay kayo, baka you're not meant for each other. Diba? So, or kapag may, ah, kapag naghiwalay kayo, pwedeng, ibig sabihin, may taong mas, tawag natin dito, mas bagay para sa iyo. So, yun yung laging thinking natin. And of course, when you love, do not give all of you. So, magtira ka ng kahit kaunti para sa sarili mo. So that when you get broken, so you know kung paano mo malalagpasan yung problema na yun na darating sa buhay mo. Kasi pag binigay mo lahat, ibig sabihin pag nangyari yung hindi natin inaasahan, baka hindi mo na alam kung anong gagawin mo sa buhay. So when you love someone, so magtira ka ng kahit konti para sa sarili mo. And since mga bata pa na yun, hindi nyo naman kailangan magmadali eh. So, yung pag-ibig, darating yan sa buhay mo. Darating yan at the right time and at the right place. So, you'll know, alam mo, mararamdaman mo na ito na yun. So, parang ganun yung feeling. So, the right time will come for you to experience it. So, sa ngayong habang bata ka pa lang, focus muna doon sa pag-aaral mo. And eventually, darating din yung time that you will experience love. So, yung love muna na 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 ilagay mo sa puso mo ay yung love ng mga nakapaligid sa iyo, your friends, your relatives, most especially your parents and your siblings. So yung love nila, gawin mo inspiration yon for you to achieve your dreams in life. So, ganun dapat yung thinking natin. So, isipin natin lagi, ano ba yung goal ko in life? So that kapag nawawalan ka ng gana, isipin mo lagi, magiging ganito ba ako kapag ganito yung ginawa ko? So always think of that. So always think of your goal or goals in life. Isipin mo lagi kaagad yun para every time na nawawalan ka ng gana, so mabuboost yung moral mo by thinking those goals that you want to achieve. So always think of that. So yun lang yung natin for this day. So since it's the last lesson for the third grading period, so basically this is we are just going to continue our discussion, and all in all we are now on lesson number 13. So for lesson number 13, what we are going to discuss is about problem solving involving triangle, similarity, and right triangles. We know naman that this third grading period, most is that we tackle about triangle similarity at the same time yung theorems about right triangles. So we are now going to apply those uh, triangle similarity things that we have discussed here, and also for those theorems that we have discussed about right triangles. So we are here going to solve verbal problems in math wherein i-apply natin pinag-aralan natin about triangle similarity and right triangles. Okay? So let's start it out. So let us proceed now on answering examples, because the concept on answering these problems were already discussed to you. So yung triangle similarity as well as yung right triangle to your theorems about right triangles diniscuss na, so that we are just going to apply it already na lang here through verbal problems. So let's proceed now on answering problems. So let's have example number 1 here. So the given problem is, the base of a 15-foot ladder stands 9 feet from a house. How many feet up the side of the house does the ladder reach? So again, if we do have this kind of problem or verbal problems in math, the best thing that we can do is to analyze the problem when we read it. So again, the base of the 15-foot ladder, ibig sabihin yung paahan ng 15-foot ladder, stands 9 feet from the house. So may house doon, so ang layo niya is 9 feet. How many feet up the side of the house does the ladder reach? So hanggang saan dun sa side ng bahay na yon, so ang ma-reach nung ladder. So, kapag ganitong case yung sinusolve natin, which is about verbal problems, makakatulong sa atin if we come up with an illustration. So, we are just going to draw what is happening in the problem for us to visualize kung paano natin masosolve yung problem na yon. So, that's one thing that we can do. So, we can do illustration or we can draw the illustration of what are the things we are mentioning in the problem. So for this example number 1, so if we're going to do the illustration, ganito yun. So by the way, this illustration, I got this from the module ng grade 9. So I just edit the given para magamit natin for this for teaching. Okay? So, ganito yung illustration na sinasabi natin. So, you have to draw what is happening in the problem. So, this is the house. So, dito yung house, for example. Ito yung pader ng house, for example. And that 15-foot ladder, that base is 9 feet from the house. So, this is the side of the house. 9 feet daw anong distance niya nung base ng ladder. And that ladder is 15 feet. 15 feet ang haba. So what we are asking is, how many feet up the side of the house does the ladder reach? Ito, kung hanggang dito yung ladder, etong side ito, ilang feet yung measure mula dito sa base ng house hanggang dun sa nung maaabot ng ladder. So, we are looking for, we are going to denote that thing that we are looking for as a variable x. So, by means of that, may kita natin na visualize natin paano natin solve yung problem. So, as you can see, if you are going to analyze the problem, so, and also based on the illustration that we have, ang mapuform natin dito basically is a right triangle. So, we have discussed about theorems about right triangle, di ba? So, we have discussed there about Pythagorean theorem. So, the longest side in a right triangle is what we call as the hypotenuse. So, meaning to say, this ladder or the measure of the ladder kung gaano kahaba, ayun yung magsisilbi as hypotenuse, while this 9 feet here, which is the distance from the base of the ladder to the side of the house, will serve as the leg, measure of one of the leg, which is particularly the shorter leg. And what we are looking for is the longer leg. And we know, in order for us to apply Pythagorean theorem, we do have formula that we are using there. So, i-recall lang natin Pythagorean theorem. Ano ba sinasabi sa Pythagorean theorem? Ang sabi doon, sabi sa Pythagorean theorem, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of its legs. But since hypotenuse is given already in this problem, so, but still, the formula on finding the hypotenuse is needed for us to form another formula in order for us to find any of the legs of that right triangle. But when we discuss that, I have already given you the formula the formula in order for us to find if the leg is missing. So basically, when we write Pythagorean theorem in symbols, it will be just the same as c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared. Or pwede rin na C is equal to the square root of A squared plus B squared. But since one of the leg is what we are looking for, so pwede natin gamitin yung formula ng Pythagorean theorem para i-isolate natin yon so that we will form another formula for finding the legs. So the legs there are A and B. So any of the two, pwede naman siya magkapalit. It's either you are going to solve for B or you are going to solve for B. Parehas lang naman yun. So, for our solution to that, so we are going to use the formula x is equal to the square root of c squared minus a squared. So that x is what we are looking for. So it's the same way kung dun siya sa formula dun siya sa Pythagorean theorem, that is the same as b. So because c and a are already in the formula. So that means that is the b. That b pinalitan na natin variable x because the variable x is what we are looking for in the problem. So, the formula for finding the leg is b is equal to the square root of c squared. That is the square of the hypotenuse minus the square of one of its legs. So as for you to find, or the square root of the square of the hypotenuse minus the square of one of its legs. So that's how we find for one of the legs of that right triangle. So, ang gagawin na natin is to substitute what is given in the problem. So, 15 feet, that is the hypotenuse. Then 9 feet, that is the one of the legs. So, just simply substitute that. So, we come up with x is equal to the square root of 15 squared minus 9 squared. Then 15 squared is, that's 15 times 15. Then minus 9 squared, that would be 9 times 9. So it will be equal to 15 squared is 225. Then 9 squared is 81. So magkakaroon tayo ng x is equal to the square root of 225 minus 81. Then subtract that. So we'll come up with x is equal to the square root of 144. And as you can see, 144 is a perfect square. So we just have to get the square root of 144. And the square root of 144 is 12. So that's why the value of x is 12. So therefore, we can answer now what is asked in the problem. So therefore, we can say that the from the base of the ladder to the top of the uh, from the base of the house to the top of the ladder, so that is 12 feet. That measures 12 feet. That's according to the problem. So we are asking kung gaano ba ang naabot, gaano kataas ba ang naabot nung taas nung ladder na yon mula doon sa baba nung side ng house. At ang naabot niya ay 12 feet. So since we have unit of measurement in the problem which is in terms of feet, so dapat yung answer natin meron din dapat na unit of measurement. So that it should be 12 feet. So that's how we answer example number 5. Is there any question? So if not, let's proceed to another example. Let's have example number 2 here. So the problem is, so a person 5 feet tall is standing near a tree 20 feet high. If the length of the person's shadow is 7 feet, what is the length of the shadow of the tree? Again, a person 5 feet tall is standing near a tree 20 feet high. So may tao na 5 feet tall, tapos katabi niya yung puno na 20 feet high. If the length of the person's shadow, so siyempre, may shadow yon, so malamang nasa katanghali ang tapat. Parang gano'n. Sabihin na natin parang gano'n. So, if the length of the person's shadow is 7 feet, what is the length of the shadow of the tree? So, we are looking for the shadow of the tree. So, para ma-visualize din natin what we are solving in the problem, let's draw an illustration. Paano ba sa illustration yan? Let's say, for example, again, this is from the module inedit lang din natin yung mga given natin. Okay, so ito yung 5 person na 5 feet tall. Yun. Then ito naman yung puno na 20 feet high. Yung shadow ng tao na yon ay 7 feet. Then what we are looking for is the shadow. What is the length? The length of the shadow of the tree. So kung titignan mo yung given problem natin, may isang maliit na triangle at may isang malaking triangle. Right triangle ang mapupo natin specifically. So, pinag-aralan natin yung triangle similarity. Di ba? So, this triangle here, yung maliit na triangle and this larger triangle is said to be both of them is what we call as similar triangles. So ano ba yung mga pwede natin gamitin for us conditions na pwede natin gamitin for us to say the two triangles are similar. Diba meron tayong AAA similarity postulate or meron tayong SAS similarity postulate. Tsaka what's the other one? What's the other one? Side angle side similarity postulate and side similarity postulate. So yung tatlong yon, pwede nating magamit for us to say that these two triangles are similar because those conditions in triangle similarity, we are pertaining to proportionality. We are dealing with proportion. So by knowing that, di ba, when we solve that, ang ang pinakakailangan nating knowledge para ma-solve yung problems involving similarity is about knowing on how we solve proportion. So that's also what we are going to do here. So ibig sabihin, itong 5 feet na to can form a ratio together with the height of the tree. The height of that person can form a ratio with the height of the tree. Then this shadow of the person can form another ratio with the shadow of the tree. Or pwede ring this height of the person will form one ratio together with its shadow, and this height of the tree will form another ratio together with its shadow for us to form a proportion. Then from there, solve it by applying your knowledge in solving proportion, which is with the application also of the fundamental law of proportion. So to solve for this, so our solution, so we are going to form proportion. So nag-form tayo ng proportion by using 5 over 20. We form proportion 5 over 20 is equal to 7 over x. Ano yung ginamit natin? The height of the person and the height of the tree will form one ratio, and the shadow of the person over the shadow of the tree, which is the one we are looking for, will form another ratio. Pero pwede rin yung 5 over 7 over is equal to 20 over x. We will still come up with the same answer if we are going to apply that. It is just like we are applying one property on proportion. So pwede ganun kung gagamitan natin ng property kasi sabi nga natin mga properties na yon, even if we apply it, still the two ratios are equal. So to solve for this, since 5 over 20, as you can see, can still be simplified or can still be reduced into lowest term, so i-reduce muna natin siya. So yung 5 and 20 are both divisible by 5. So yung 5 and 20 magiging 1, yung 5 magiging 1 while yung 20 magiging 4. So in that way, mas mababang number na yung mai-encounter natin in solving the problem. So here we are just going to apply cross multiplication or simply applying the fundamental law of proportion. That would be 1 times x is x, which is the one we are looking for, and 4 times 7 is equal to 28. So that's why we come up with the answer as x, which is equal to 28. So now, the shadow of the tree is equal to 28 feet. So kung ang shadow ng kung ang person na 5 feet tall ay may shadow na 7 feet na may shadow na 7 feet, yung 20 feet na tree, may shadow siya na 28 feet. So that's how we solve problem number 2. Ginamitan natin yan ng triangle similarity. Okay? So, nakuha example number 2. So let's proceed now to example number 3. Example number 3. Two triangular lots are similar. The corresponding size of these triangular lots are 6 meters and 15 meters. What is the perimeter of the smaller lot if the perimeter of the larger lot is 1,250 meters? So, medyo fresh pa sa atin to because ito yung last discussion natin. So, ang minimension dito sa problem is about the corresponding sides and the perimeter of two similar triangles. The corresponding sides na given ay 6 meters and 15 meters and the perimeter ng larger lot is 1,250 meters. So, what we are looking for is the perimeter of the smaller lot. So, we made mention doon sa diniscuss natin na condition about the similar the relationships between perimeters and areas na yung perimeter ng perimeter of two similar triangles is equal to each corresponding sides. So, pwedeng yung, kasi may tatlong corresponding sides tayo in a given similar triangles. Na tayong tatlo doon. So, kahit ano doon sa tatlo na corresponding sides, pwede natin gamitin. At given na in this problem, yung isa doon sa corresponding sides niya, one is 6 meters, the other is 15 meters. And obviously, yung 6 meters is for the smaller triangle, while 15 meters is for the larger triangle. And what we are looking for is the perimeter of the smaller triangle given the perimeter of the larger triangle. So what we are going to do there, just like on how we solve a problem like this in our last lesson, what we are going to do is to form a proportion involving the proportion of its perimeters and its corresponding sides. So the corresponding sides given is 6 and 15. So we form one ratio there, which is 6 over 15. Then we form another ratio with its perimeters. Since we are looking for the smaller lot and for the smaller lot, so we will use the variable x for that one over the perimeter of the larger lot, so that we can form this proportion. So that 6 over 15 is equal to x over 1,250. The ratio of the corresponding sides equal yan to the ratio of the perimeters of two similar triangles. Then to solve for this, so as you can see, 6 and 15 or 6 over 15 can still be reduced into lowest term. So, i-reduce natin siya. Both 6 and 15 are divisible by 3. So, 6 divided by 3 is 2, by 15 divided by 3 is 5. So, meron tayong 2 over 5. So, instead of using 6 over 15, we are going to make use of 2 over 5. So, let's start solving for it now by using the fundamental law of proportion. So, that is by applying the cross multiplication. So, 5 times x, we come up with 5x. Then 2 times 1,250, we come up with 2,500. So that's why meron tayong 5x is equal to 2,500. Then since we want to find out for the value of x and it's still accompanied by 5, so we still have to divide both sides of the equation by 5. So maka-cancel out na yung 5, then matitira ay x, which is the one we are looking for. Then 2,500 divided by 5. So since it's exactly divisible, so we can come up with an exact value for it. So 2,500 divided by 5 is equal to 500. So that's why meron tayong value of x which is equal to 500. Since the unit of measurement involved in the problem is in terms of meter, So it should be 500 meters. So ibig sabihin, the perimeter of the smaller lot is 500 meters. Kung ang perimeter ng larger lot ay 1,200 meters, na ang corresponding size nila ay 6 meters and 15 meters. So that's how we answer example number 3. Do you have any questions? So if there are no more questions, that would be all for today. Goodbye, class! Okay, before we end this video, so nagpasalamat muna tayo dun sa mga nagtitiwala sa atin. So, may mga nagpapa-shoutout sa atin, so batiin muna natin sila. So una, shoutout kay Jasmine Bids Blanco. Sabi niya, sir, shoutout po sa next video. So shoutout sa'yo, Jasmine. So stay safe. So, alam mo naman, paglaying Hinebra, matapang yan. So soon, nakikita rin natin yung mga idol natin na maglalaro. But don't forget my jerseys, ha? So may utang ka sa akin jerseys, Bids. So, shout out sa'yo. Shout out din sa mga kaibigan kong sina Patrick Mercedes at Eileen Mercedes. So, shout out sa inyong dalawa. Hinahanap ko yung message ninyo na nagpapa-shout out but I cannot find it anymore. So, shout out sa inyong dalawa. They are my friends, close friends since college. So, again, shout out Patrick and Eileen. Stay safe also. So, kita-kita tayo soon. Next, shout out and special thanks to Sparkle Place. Shout out also to you. So, special thanks is because yung message na ibinigay niya is so inspiring. Ito yung dahilan kung bakit nagpupursige tayo na abutin yung gusto nating marating na goal for this channel. So sabi niya, thank you sa pag-upload ng videos, sir. Kahit papano nakakaintindi ako ng lessons sa pag-rewatch ng video lesson niyo. Just saying, if nobody ever said you this, keep up the good work, sir. So thank you, Sparkle Place. So, you are one of the reason kung bakit still nagko-continue ako to do videos or video lessons of the things that we are discussing in grade 9. So, thank you again, Sparkle Place. And also, shout outs sa lahat ng luma at saka bagong subscribers, to all old and new subscribers. So, kundi dahil sa inyo, or kundi dahil sa pagtitiwala ninyo, so, hindi ako magpupursige para gawin yung mga videos na to. So, hopefully, ma-reach natin yung goal natin. So, kailangan natin magtulungan for us to reach our goals of this channel. So, pag nag-succeed tayo, lahat kayo, subscribers natin, are a blessing. A blessing, blessing to everybody na matutulungan ng channel na to. So, salamat ulit sa pagtitiwala sa inyo. So, yun lang po. And also, kung nagustuhan nyo yung video na to, so just hit like, share this video, and also subscribe IGOP Lord official channel. So, importante is for you to subscribe the IGOP Lord official channel. And also, don't forget to comment down below if you do have anything to say. So, hanggang sa muli, goodbye!